Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 1 of the rise and fall of FizzyStardust. Part 1 is going to include, it's going to be comprised of a sort of timeline or history of me throughout, my years in the Pokemon community. So, sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy it. So, let's get started here. Before YouTube started, for me, before I started in YouTube, I should say, I signed up for Cerebi. I had bought Pokemon Pearl out of the blue. I haven't played a game in a long time. I mean, I played a little tiny bit of Emerald, but I got lost and I quit. And I was like, fuck this game. Then Pearl came out, and I remember buying it. I remember buying it at Kmart, but I don't remember why. I was like, dude, fucking Pokemon. I think what had happened is I had a 3DS and like no games to play on it. I got talked into buying it, and I wasn't really into it. And then there was Pearl, and I was like, well, there we go. There's a 3DS game. Let's go. So I signed up for Cerebi. I don't know how I even got to Cerebi. I think I just found it randomly. I don't think I had ever heard of it before, surely. But I found it, and it was a big place, and I had a forum, and I had decided I wanted to complete my Pokedex. I ended up starting a trade thread. I was breeding adamant Bellydrum Charmanders, because I had learned that was a thing. And I would trade those to fill the spots on my decks. Now, from there, I decided, I'd learn a few more things about Pokemon. But, I was focused on my decks. Now, I did a thing where my girlfriend would sign up for websites and I'd do it too. To sort of help her in whatever she was doing. We were on this one avatar site, like games and stuff. I'd help her out, play the games, whatever. And they had a Pokemon group subform thing. I joined it, and through there, I kind of learned about EV'd Pokemon and that. And I was like, oh, there's like a whole nother thing that I don't know about. Let's look into this a little bit further. Through my career as a person, I have a little bit of a competitive nature. I mean, I definitely like to compete. And I think that part of me, hadn't really existed in a while. Yeah, so I wasn't doing anything like that. So I learned about EVing, eventually IVs. I didn't think those were as important. And I don't think I had a way to check them at the time. I So I started looking further for Pokemon things competitive. I found my way onto a MySpace group called UPT, which is like the United Pokemon Trainers or something. This is where I met my friend Tiberius. If you've stuck around with me long enough, you know who he is. If you don't know who he is, he's another guy who plays Pokemon. He has a YouTube channel. He used to have a pretty successful one, but unfortunately that one's not around anymore. Or it is, he just doesn't have access to it. Well, I had acquired a few Pokemon along the way to play, like, to make a competitive team with. And I had a tryout because this MySpace group was a team. I was like, whoa, what's a team, man? Teams were big back then. Teams were huge. But anyways, I aced my tryout, man. I had a Porygon Z. I swept the shit out of the guy. I was like, I don't even know how I did that. This thing's unreal. Porygon Z is so good. And later that team went to Pojo. Now, Pojo, if you haven't heard of it, it's a forum for anything. It's got like every forum for everything ever. But we took the team to Pojo. Pojo had teams already. And as I said, teams were a big thing. Now, we took this team to Pojo, and I think we tried our best at a team war, which was basically the two teams built a roster, and then you had tournament. These 3-on-3. These guys would play, and then they'd switch it up like that, and then you'd keep playing until everyone was eliminated. Usually it's single or double eliminated, something like that. Now, our team was not very good compared to what else was out there. The guy who led it was he went by the name of Daniel Superpoke, who was later named Gak, whom we all found out was a big giant fraud about who he was. Yeah. He was like this dude who was like, I'm like 24, and I have a wife and a brother, and we all live together, and it was really just him. He's like a 14-year-old guy, and like the whole time, like me and Tuff were like, this guy sounds like an idiot. There's no way he's in his 20s, because he and I at the time were both in our 20s, and we're like, this guy is a fucking idiot. There's no way. There's no way. Eventually, we found out the real truth. Through that, Tiberius and I became really close. He was my first friend through Pokemon online, and he's still my friend today, which is fucking unreal. 6 years later, I'm still friends with the first guy I met. And it's weird. I've seen his little baby go from here to like fucking 6 years old, 7 years old or whatever. And he's at another kid of like, holy shit, this is so weird. This is so weird that you sustain these friendships over this period of time. Like, any community that you can bond over something and make friendships is fucking magical, man. I have this timeline over here. I've lost my spot. So after all of that, we kind of figured out he's a phony. The best part of this, let me backtrack a little bit. We would have team meetings, and my girlfriend would spend the night at my house, and I would kind of like have my laptop on, and we'd be laying on this air mattress, and she would read everything he said in the funniest voice, because she could tell through reading 5 minutes of his words that he is an ass, some sort of motherfucker. So whenever he would say something like, she'd be like, let's say he said, we're gonna start working on UU teams. She'd go, we're gonna start working on UU teams. we're gonna really take the UU tier by storm. Yeah, it's gonna be really good. I don't know. Like something like that. Like some big mongoloid idiot. It was great. So after that, me and Top tried to join a different team. We looked over the teams in Pojo. We eventually decided on Team Eclipse. Eclipse to my face right there. Team Eclipse was led by False Innocence, who also was, another thing I learned through the Pokemon community is almost no one's who they say they are. Especially early at this time, False Innocence was a girl who made up a bunch of stories about these terrible, tragic things happening to her, and then it was just some dude from Arizona. Ugh. Anyways, so we joined that team. We went to war with Team Zeal. Team Zeal was infamously ran by the Killer Nacho. The Killer Nacho at the time was the guy. He was the guy in the Pokemon YouTube world. And after joining Team Zeal, somewhere around where I am, I joined YouTube. But I really want to get through the forum timeline. Just wait. Tim, like friend number 2 that I made through this stupid thing that I still talk to. I've been in his fantasy football league for like the past 5 years or something. It's so weird. We don't talk much anymore. Whenever he reads a bit of Browns news, because that's my team, he'll tag my name, and just like sucks being you, man, because every bit of Browns news is bad news. So, Eclipse in Zeal collided, right? They went to war. The war didn't end. Eclipse was absorbed by Zeal, and it became this mega team with like a 40-man roster. So now Tup and I are on Team Zeal, and we're still talking a lot, but we're kind of like doing this sort of thing, kind of going our own direction within the group. I made this friend, Ridley, who I will probably now refer to Rich as we go on. And I love Rich so much. And Tup and I became really close. But while we were in Team Zeal, not much was going on. And I was talking to this other guy, Itsuki. And Itsuki was like, we should make a new team. I was getting pretty good at the game by this point. And so we made a team. Team Desu. Team Desu was created by me and Itsuki. And right behind us, like immediate members, were Tup and Ridley. Rich. So Tup and Rich joined up. They were like our admins. Team creators, admins, everyone else. Team Desu became like this dominating force in Pojo. We went to war with teams. Every single team we faced, we've never lost a single war. And in fact, we won a war that we weren't even in. There was a team, I think it was called Team Riot. That team kind of went through a bunch of incarnations, so maybe it was named something else at the time. But Team Zeal and them were in a war, and the war stalled, as a lot of them did do. And then Tim, the Killer Nacho, and the leader of the other team were talking, and they're like, let's name Desu the winners. And they did, and then we are, and suck it. So yeah, we were like a powerhouse, and at that time, I was taking the game really seriously. I'd gotten pretty good by this point, actually really good, and I was a little too serious. I got sour when I lost, and I got cocky when I was winning. if I could parallel my career, personality-wise, with anyone through Pokemon, it would be HBK. If you know about HBK in the 90s, you know that he was an asshole. But then later, he like found God and then wasn't an asshole. He probably still is a little, but whatever. Anyways, one instance, this was happened probably a couple years ago now, but Kazuo War, a famous hacker programmer guy, in the Pokemon community, he's always coming up with great stuff and helping the community sustain. And he posted an old video of me and him battling, and I watched it, and I'm like, I don't remember this, like, but those are my nicknames on my stuff. And I made that comment, and he's all, oh, yeah, I remember this. You guys were having a good old laugh at my expense at the beginning of the match, and I was like, oh shit, like it was all coming back to me. I could remember where I was in that game. I remember where I was sitting, and actually was laying down on the bed, the laptop in front of me, and DS was laying on my stomach. And I was like, fuck. And then he was going on about like how it was like, having a good old laugh, and then something happened where he just swept me, and I was like, fuck this shit. I was like, oh yeah, I'm hella recording this match because I was playing like a star, and then I either made a mistake or Kazuo made a play, and I was like, well, this sucks, and I got swept. And I hate that I was ever like that. It's so weird to me now. I can't imagine ever being that arrogant or an asshole. But I think back on my life, and I know that kind of tendency is in me. When I was 6 years old, or maybe 5, I played Pee Wee baseball. And I was really fast. I was a fast kid. I was actually fast all my life until I got fat. Anyways, I would do this thing when I was running home. I would slow down a little bit to kind of showboat. And one time I got tagged out. And it only took one time for me to feel so embarrassed and ashamed and bad. I felt awful about it. It felt so bad that I never did it again. And I remember that for the rest of my life. And when I see myself doing something like that where it's relatable, I have to remind myself to keep running hard, keep hustling until it's done. And then, when you're done and you're finished and you won and you're first, then you can talk shit. Don't show off beforehand. It's not good. That's probably a bad lesson. Just don't show off. Just try your hardest, do your best. That's really what it's all about. Now, over my time with Desu, Top and Rich were my best friends. We were fucking inseparable. Desu had a chat, and that chat was always booming. Everyone from Pojo was there, and it was a good place to find battles and stuff like that, and it was great. Eventually, Desu was so dominating that, and our roster became so big because everyone wanted to be a part of it, that we split up into 2 teams. I actually don't have this written down, but we split up into 2 teams. Itsuki took some members and formed Team some Asian model he was obsessed with. And me, the innovator that I am, made Team Miley. That's right. FizzyStardust, Team Desu, Team Miley went to war with Team whatever the other faction was. Party in the USA came out, and that shit was my jam. That fucking song is great, and I don't care who you are, you like that song. Team Miley won. Team Miley won. Go figure. I was on it. Fucking Party in the USA was our team theme song, and we won. No fucking shit. Anyways, a section of Team Desu broke off, and we decided to invade Serbia because it was a notoriously famous for bad battlers, and we just wanted to dominate and destroy what we were bred to do, man. So we took our team there, and there are four of us who started the team. The Master of Disaster, the Dancing Destroyer, the King of Sting, and the Count of Monte Fisto. We were Team Apollo Creed, and I was the Count of Monte Fisto. See, we all took on nicknames of Apollo Creed. Great. Was my favorite team that we ever made, ever. And we dominated Serbia. We took it to Team they sucked dick. I don't even think they were... Oh, no, they were. Whatever. We beat everyone. We were great. And kind of teams and forums were on their way out at this point. A lot of Pojo was losing momentum, and it was cracking down on some things that we were having a lot of fun with. And we didn't like the mods. So at this point, me and Rich decided to make our own website. Now, I'll get more to that later, actually. I have it written down somewhere, and I'll get back to it. So keep in mind that, eventually we made our own website. So, now, sometime in Pojo, we're going to start the YouTube thing now. My friends had started doing it. I was watching Nacho, and I was like, yeah, this seems silly to me. Yes, this seems stupid. But I have the need to entertain, and I have that piece of me is so important to me that I just love entertaining. So I was like, here's an outlet for me. I like this Pokemon game. I like doing, the competitive battling, and I like entertaining. So this seems dumb, but I'm going to give it a whirl. My friends were having a lot of fun with it. So I started YouTube. My first video was posted on June 12th, 2009, and I was 22 years old. I was of legal drinking age and had just started Pokemon on YouTube. Now, you could do the math and figure out how old I am now. A lot of people don't ever think I'm that old, which is aces. I love it. But, yeah, that's how old I am. So I was a little late to the Pokemon party, but it hadn't really made an impact on YouTube yet. I think NBZ had started the year before. So 2008 is when a lot of bigger names that you would have known started. 2007, 2008. Now, I didn't announce it to everyone that I am doing Pokemon videos. Yeah! I wasn't ashamed. It's a little embarrassing, I guess. Um, I mentioned that I had a girlfriend, and she knew that I was playing competitively, and I was into this game, and I was having a lot of fun with it. She didn't know about my YouTube channel until I had been established for quite some time, and then it was kind of like this big coming out thing, and I was like, look, here's what I do in my spare time. I don't want you to watch it because I will be embarrassed, because I hate when I like the faceless masses of people. I get awkward when someone I know is like, dude, yeah, that's, hey, you did that thing. And I'm like, thanks. If you ever met me in real life and I was less than optimal, I'm sorry. I would use my go-to is usually like oh hey man, thanks, cool, nice to meet you, handshake, high five, fist bump, sign you a card. People used to want me to sign stuff. I was that kind of, that was like holy shit to me. It was really cool. um but I'm kind of awkward. Anyways, when I did tell her, she was super supportive of it. She's been great. I'm still with her. We've been dating for over 12 years. I'm gonna marry her. 2009. Not much happened in 2009. Like I said, I started in June. By September, I had reached 100 subs, and that's the first real big milestone for anyone. And it was pretty good. I liked it. I liked getting there. It certainly wasn't 1,000, but it was 100. Actually, I don't think I ever did another sub special after that. Weird. Anyways, there were some war matches on my channel. I actually saw someone on Tim's video had said like L2K is the best team ever. We're the best battlers, man. And being an arrogant prick that I was like, let's find these people. They're on this place called Purple Surge, like an IRC chat. And I found L2K, and I found the guy who they said was the best, and I battled him, and I worked him the fuck over. I had like an anti-lead slow king that Rich made. Grass and fire were really strong. Basically, if you wanted to make an anti-lead, you had to learn a strong grass move and a strong fire move, and then you could do it, because most of the leads were either Swampert or Metagross at that time, or I can't even remember. Like Azelf would have been one, I guess, and but Azelf isn't really what you were looking for. You were looking to get a quick, clean, one shot knockout. So Slowking, a Krasnot, a Swampert knocked it out. He brought in Lucario, crunched me, lived it, Fire Blast knocks him out. And then eventually he brings in a Crocoon, and he's going to try and set up on me. I bring in a Bronzong, Choice Banded Bronzong, max attack, one-shots with Explosion. And it did, because Explosion was good back then. Do your homework. And then he thought I was cheating, and then I was like, dude, fucking, here are all my Pokemon. You could look at them in a trade. They were all legit as fuck. Of course. And he's like, dude, rematch. I'm like, nah, you're not worth it. So Team Zeal and Team Desu actually started warring, and between me and Tim and some of the guys from Desu who had channels, we started making trash talk videos. I wrote Zeal down in a post-it, and then I blew my nose. Stupid stuff like that. Also in 2009 marked the time when I had a monospecies tournament between four of us. Me, Rich, Tup, and Nick, aka Super Blah, who I will refer to as Nick from here on out, I'm sure. and that was actually no fun at all. It was terrible. And in 2009, I can with confidence say I made the first auto-tune Pokemon battle narration. Absolutely. I made the first one of those. Now,
alright guys, this is my battle with the iDog from Desu. I'm doing an auto-tune Pokemon battle right now, and I got really excited about it when I learned how to do it. Doesn't do that much, I'm like, damn, that thing is a beast, right? Yeah. And that's a David Lucario. Yeah.
2010 is when things really picked up for me. I had about 6-7 months under my belt. I started my first LP I would never finish, Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans for DS. Those videos actually eventually did really well on my channel, but I never finished it, as the ROM actually never ran at full speed, and it was kind of annoying to play. 2010 marked the beginning of Average Asylum, the website that me and Rich started together. Now, Average Asylum was great. We were actually really good at what we were doing. Were both proven really good at this stupid fucking game. We were great friends. And we decided to go into business together with this website. We split the cost 50-50. And it's like everything we paid for, like the hosting and the domains and all that kind of stuff. And it was a pretty good chunk of change to just go for it. And we had a Zat and a forum and an actual website. We were working on like an item decks and a move decks and creative move sets and things of that nature. And it was all going up kind of slowly but surely. And the website was catching a lot of steam. But the forum was failing a little bit because of the Zat. And we tried to level that out. We tried to put the Zat in the forum. And it was getting messy, but it was going great. We had big projects with our own tiers made by a council. Doesn't that sound familiar? But it wasn't stupid. We sat there and we're like, yeah, here, that doesn't make sense. This makes sense. That doesn't make sense. We put Mew and OU in 2010. And I could never figure out why it was an Uber. After we had it in OU, I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. It wasn't Uber, in my opinion. But whatever. I was just part of the Empress Asylum Council. That's just me. Time went on. More videos happened. Put a lot of work in that year. On May 13th of 2010, not an even full year later, I had put up 100 videos. That is about 2 per week. It's not bad. Probably by today's standard, not that much. But at the time, I felt like I was hustling. I was putting out a lot of content. Some days got double videos. I had one day where I posted 3 videos in one day. It was crazy. Big thing in the community happened in 2010. Battle for Charity 1. Battle for Charity 1 started. I wasn't a participant in it. I think I donated something and was promised a thing. Never got it. But actually, I won a thing from Steve, I think, this year. and I eventually got it when I met him up in person. It was like his 3DS, and I didn't get it till years later, or till like a year later or something. 2 years, I was like, dude, fucking send it away. It's like, I tried, I didn't put any posts on it. I was stupid. Steve Magnitude, that is. Uh, Around here, I made up Spexpert, which is a Spec Swampert lead. HP Grass was really cool as it KO'd other Swamperts. And you didn't see it coming because usually you just trade rocks and then someone makes a move. I think I was the first battle on Battle for Charity, or maybe I wasn't. I was like Wild Chase's first battle. I don't remember if he was the first streamer. And I got to beat him on stream, which was a nice feather in my cap at that time. Further getting my name out there. We were doing really good. We're making big wins, stuff like that. June, I hit 500 subs, and that was actually the last sub video I made. I made myself a cake, and I carved Mag into the side of it. He didn't think I would, but I did. I don't remember why, but it was important for some reason. So our website's going strong. I met Magnitude around this time. Steve is a good friend. Through Steve, I met DMAC and like JC Fern and a few other people, I think. Average Asylum started a podcast. 5th Gen was coming up, and we were getting sets out there. And I remember one particular day, like right after 5th Gen came out, we, being me, Nick, and Rich, all sat down, went down the list of every 5th Gen Pokemon, and just made sets for an entire day. Now, at this time, I lived in San Francisco. I was going to college. I lived on my own in my own apartment. I was putting a lot of time, effort, and work in fucking brain cells and this stupid website and this stupider game. It actually really hurt my school career. Not that I was a great student by any means in the first place. Not that I'm stupid, but I don't like school. I get home and I'm like, nah, fuck this shit. I don't want to do it. So I didn't. Now, Arborson was becoming a bit of a headache. It was getting very large. We had a lot of traffic. And through that, you get assholes. Now, around this time, Tapirius got hacked. His channel got taken over, and so did, like, a lot of his social networking stuff also got taken over. And it was actually really scary, because he had, like, financial stuff that was, like, I think he was locked out of and stuff like that. Now, me being one of the owners and admins of the website, chat and forum, I became a target of these attacks, and while none of them were successful, it was extremely stressful, because I was like, what the fuck did I do? Like, aside from making this fucking community better, like, what did I do? And deserve any of it. Now, AA was so big that there were so many daily conflicts and power struggles and people grasping for power and stuff, and none of it seemed real to me that this was an actual problem. I was like, we're talking about you being a mod on a chat. Like, people were struggling over that. Like, who's admin, who's mod, and things like that. And we're like, dude, just, like, right here, I still get it. Just fucking, Now, Rich and I were beginning to have differences on who got responsibility, and we would receive conflicting stories, and we were also believing different people. Because of this, I came home one day and I got this information about things that went down while I was gone, and they seemed really dire, and I started, like, the way it was presented to me is like he was having a breakdown and things were going really bad. So I started changing passwords on, like, the website, the forum, all this stuff, and locking him out until I could figure out what happened and what's going on. Probably not the best move. Probably should talk to him first, but I'm like, I got hundreds of dollars dumped into this website. We're trying to make a little bit of money from it, maybe get one check from Google AdSense. That would be nice. We never got anything out of that website except for a headache and a kick in the nuts. Now, I did all that, and then he was like, "What the fuck, man? Like, what? And he started yelling at me and going in and just ripping and tearing at me, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. We started getting very angry and mad, and then sad by virtue of that because we're really good friends, and because of this one argument that we were having is like it just ruined our friendship because I didn't trust him. I trusted someone else over him, and I didn't talk to him beforehand. But by the same token, like, he didn't talk to me about what he was doing and all this stuff, and it got really messy. And neither one of us was right, really. We're both kind of wrong, but neither one of us really admitted it or apologized for it. And eventually, what happened was I had the website, I had the forum, I had all this stuff. I bought out his half, I refunded him, and I had full control of it. He went and did something else. And that really sucked for me, because this guy, like, was my... It would be weird to say, but this guy who lived in England, who I played Pokemon with, was like my best fucking friend at the time. Because when I lived in San Francisco, I didn't really know anyone. And so this venture ruined that for me. I got very lonely and very sad. And that's when Skype became a thing, sort of, within the community. It became a thing to just, like, kind of be in a Skype call. Which probably, like... I don't want to say saved my life, because I wouldn't equate it to other things that I say would save my life. But in a sense, it did. Where I would just come home, and I would be like, oh, okay, these guys are on a Skype call. I'm going to get in on that. Even if I'm not going to say anything, it's like these people are just here in my house, and that's kind of cool. While I play fucking video games or whatever. So... that happened. Now, while I was on Skype and all this stuff, I started meeting people. I was talking to D-Mac a lot, talking to Steve a lot. Me and Nick were getting a whole lot closer as friends, and somewhere around this time, PMP started. I got my first video on PMP. Got mixed reviews. It was kind of stally at the end, but it was a good game. I knew D-Mac for some time by this point, and he really fucking misplayed by... Look, I had a stroke of genius, and it was the Yellow Drinking Game LP.
Hello everybody, this is FizzyStardust, and I'm back with another part of my yellow playthrough. So I got my snack open now. I got my Doritos chili cheese flavored chips. Yum! And I'll see you guys next time, and I will hopefully try to remember where to go in the stupid cave. I'm already lost, you guys, and I'm quite drunk. This is a problem for me, and it is funny for you. Okay? Okay. I love you, bye-bye.
It was so brilliant and perfect and the best. It was entertaining, it was new, it was inventive. And it had a case of nostalgia, too. And it had me on the microphone, man. It was brilliant. It was the best idea that I ever had, and probably one of the best projects I ever finished as an LP. Now, he didn't want to put it on the main channel. He wanted to put it on the beta, which was like the secondary channel where people would kind of make a name for themselves to get to maybe the main channel. And I fought really hard, and then like he saw these other LPs fail on the main channel, and he couldn't. At that time, he didn't want to move it over for continuity because it had like 15 episodes on beta. So I finished out beta, and it was a shame, but that thing was fucking brilliant, man. Battle for Charity 2 was in December, like 6 months later, which was weird as shit. It was not as successful as its first, but I was a part of it, so that made it great. This marked the time when Steve had a fever and was high on cold medicine and danced with his shirt off in front of like 100 people. That was 2010. That was 2010.